morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Piedmont Unitarian Universalist Church. Piedmont UU sits on the traditional land of the Catawba, Kiowa, Sugary, and the Sugary peoples. My name is Rhiannon Estwick, and I will be the worship assistant for Reverend Dr. Amy Rio this morning. We are a flourishing, vibrant, and radically welcoming congregation which promotes diversity, inclusion, and social justice. We provide a safe haven for creative intellectual growth, spiritual development, and a deep sense of community for all who join us. We hope our liberal religious values will challenge you to join us as a community that lives boldly and acts justly. To all our visitors and members, we're very glad that you're here, in person or with us online, and we hope to see you again. Your presence is a gift to us. Our announcements this Sunday. Green Faith is sponsoring Sunday this weekend, a time when faith communities around the country are highlighting climate change and the need for action. Our social action team is distributing light bulbs in connection with this. Please see Gio if you're interested, and there's a little station at the back there. So that's fairly easy to find. And Lisa, apologies, and Lisa. You can see Gio and Lisa. Lisa's wearing a really lovely jacket today. The Salisbury Women's Group will gather on Sunday, September 27th at 10 a.m. at Kyla G's Pottery Studio in Mocksville, North Carolina. Kyla will present on how pottery relates to life. Snacks will be provided. Please bring your own beverage. Contact Tara or Lisa with questions at womengroupsg@puuc.org. Our Generosity Campaign Kickoff Picnic is Saturday, October 3rd. Please check your email to sign up. There is no cost to you, and please do RSVP. Spread the word about our October 18th photography fundraiser. In partnership with 3 local photographers, we're offering outdoor portraits at the Salisbury gathering, plus outdoor portraits and professional headshots at the university gathering. This fundraiser is open to the public, so share widely. Scan the QR code for details and to reserve your session. Questions? Email Becky at fundraising@puuc.org. For other important information about our vibrant community, please see your order of service, or if you are on our email list, please check our monthly newsletter and weekly announcements. Whatever brought you to this place at this hour, we welcome you. May you find something that you need, and may you leave richer in spirit than when you arrived.
Hear now these words from Michelle Collins. We light this chalice in honor of the families we build, the circles we choose, the bonds shaped by care. May this flame remind us that love is the tie that makes us kin. Please join me now in singing the words to lighting our chalice, the symbol of our faith. I invite you now to please rise in body or spirit for our call to worship found in your bulletin. Today, we return to the shelter of each other, to arms that hold us in the midst of the storm, to voices that help us hear our own, to hearts that accept us for who we are.
May we be for each other a source of safety and sanity.
May we offer each other both comfort and challenge.
May the belonging we find here help us offer the same experience of home to others.
May this time of blessing begin. Our opening hymn is found in our gray hymnal, number 354, We Laugh, We Cry. Please be seated. And I invite any of our young ones to come forward and join me for the Time for All Ages. How are y'all doing today? Good, good. I'm glad to hear that. It's good to see all of you. So have you been doing anything fun or special in recent days? Yes. Your birthday's tomorrow. Happy birthday. Do you have anything special planned? Parents, anything special planned? Cupcakes or? Oh, sorry. I'm okay, no pressure here. So so anyone else? Y'all had anything special going on lately? Right? No? Well, I have a question for you. Oh, yes, honey. Your birthday's coming up too. Wonderful. Congratulations. Tell ya, it's a good time of year to have birthdays. Yes, Harley.
I've got school tomorrow.
You have school tomorrow. That's good because we're going to talk about that in just a moment. Yes, Jackson. You. Oh, a kid ATV. Wow, that is great. A pedal. Put the pedal to the metal, right? Okay. Yeah. Rose? Boo-boos. La-boo-boos. Oh, La-boo-boo. Okay, I do know why La-boo-boo is because I watched the U.S. Open, so that's the only reason. And if some of y'all who are my age or a little bit older wonder what this is, you can Google it later. It's a thing. So, well, I wanted to ask y'all a question today. What are some of the special communities or groups that you belong to? Yes, Ellie. School. Yes, school is a very important community that we belong to, right? And it might be school, say it's preschool, maybe here at our church even, or a school where you're off, past kindergarten and first grade, going to school. That's a real important community. Yes, Jonah. Church, yes. So I didn't tell them any answers, and they're coming up with it. So church is a really important community. What other kind of communities do you belong to? What about your family is a community too? You may not think of that, right? But your family's a community. Yes, Harley.
My birthday is in November.
Another birthday coming up. Yes. So we've got families or groups or communities we belong to, like school and church, and our families. Any other communities or groups you might belong to? Are you thinking of? Oh, that's a good time to have a birthday too. So you might, like whenever you, yes, John. Okay. Your house, yeah, your house, your neighborhood is a community. Might be your neighbors, people you know. Hold on a second. And any of y'all are any sports teams or have like these group teams you're on? Yeah, I know you are, Ellie, right? That's another community. Yes.
Dad loves Browns.
The Browns, yeah, a part of a community of fans of the Browns. And good luck to them today, right? So, well, all that to say is we have lots of communities and groups that we belong to. Is this about community or group, Harley?
Okay, so
No, it's not. We'll talk after, okay? So, it is about community? Okay. What's fun?
is that I can't figure it out. I don't remember what I was saying.
That's all right. When you think of it later on today, you can tell me. Okay.
Did you know that birds and all the stuff and bees that mostly hurt people are part of the community?
That is very good, Harley. Yes. All of creation around us is part of community too. Birds and bees and flowers and all sorts of things. So one thing, all these wonderful communities, we talked about the church. Here we are, is an important community. What do you think is special about our church community? Why do you like coming here on Sundays and maybe some other times too? Yeah. Ellie, let's give Ellie a chance first, yes. You feel welcomed with the people you love. Absolutely. That's a great reason to be here Sunday. Yes, Harlan?
Okay, so the special thing about this is that sometimes we get no fun or playground.
That y'all can play together, especially on this wonderful playground that the preschool has and keeps up for us. Yeah. So we all get to play together. We get to have fun together. Other things you like about our church community? What about all the people who care about you? People that you're not related to, but all these other people you get to see on Sundays, they care about you. What about your teachers? Right. Some of your teachers over here, Miss Sue, Mr. Daniel. Yeah. So anyway, what I want y'all to know is you, every single one of you, are a very important part of this community. And all of us are so happy to see you every Sunday, and we love you, and we always want to help support you any way we can. Okay? Hope y'all remember that. And especially if you're having a bad day sometime, remember that your church family loves you and supports you. Okay. Some of y'all might be ready to go enjoy some of the things that you like on Sunday so much. So we will let y'all head out. Thank you. Thank you for talking to me. I know that all of us are so thankful for the youngest members of our church family and for their presence every Sunday. We are now entering to a time for ritual and sacred sharing, a time we share joys and sorrows, concerns, and milestones. We light a candle first this week in observance of Sunday, this special day where faith communities around the country are highlighting, along with the Green Faith Organization, the need for climate activism and climate justice. We light a candle for Myrna and her family with the recent passing of her sister-in-law, Jane. For Ed Kay with our Salisbury worship community with ongoing health concerns. Eric D's father, Jim, is ongoing treatments for brain tumor. Susan B. with health concerns. And many of you here know Robin, who is so active here at the University Gathering. Robin had surgery Friday morning. It's a very aggressive form of breast cancer they found not too long ago. The surgery went well, and she is very grateful for that. She will be having upcoming treatments, of course, in the coming weeks, and really appreciates that she knows she has a supported community here. Robin also asked that and I completely agree with her on this, anyone who is eligible to get a mammogram, get your ongoing mammograms. Do not delay that. We also light a candle for the epidemic of gun violence in our country and for people willing to address it in actionable ways. For the immediate relief of the people of Gaza. For all who are impacted by ICE raids and activities. for all areas of violence around the world, especially Haiti, the Sudan, the Middle East, and the ongoing war in Ukraine. For our country, that we might continue to work towards creating a society which is filled with love and empathy and compassion, and civil rights and justice for every person. Now, at this time, you are invited to come forward as you feel led to do so. I invite you to come forward along the far wall. We have our prayer stand over here on the wall. You may fill out a prayer card and place it on the prayer stand. And I do spend some time periodically with that prayer stand, lifting up the concerns listed there. We also have our candle, and Rhiannon can help you light a candle of joy or concern. And we also have our shared water, and you may place a stone in the shared water. You are invited to come forward as you feel called to do so. We now light a few more candles for the things we hold in our hearts which remain unspoken, and also for those who are joining us virtually to honor what is in their hearts as well. At this time, I invite us into a period for quiet rest, meditation, or prayer. I will sound the singing bowl, and then we will have our time of silence, which will be concluded with our shared musical meditation. Now, during this time of silence, I invite you to settle more fully into your breath and simply slow it down, and then to visualize a bright sun burning at the core of you, one that it illuminates you and all around you. As you simply sit and breathe, know that that light, that gives you everything that you need.
This morning's wisdom reading is For Loneliness by John O'Donohue. When the light lessens, causing colors to lose their courage, and your eyes fix on the empty distance that can open on either side of the shortest line to make all that is familiar and near seem suddenly foreign. When the music of talk breaks apart into noise and you hear your heart louden while the voices around you slow down to leaden echoes, turning silence into something stony and cold. When the old ghosts come back to feed on everywhere you felt sure, do not strengthen their hunger by choosing fear. Rather, decide to call on your heart that it may grow clear and free to welcome home your emptiness, that it may cleanse you like the clearest air you could ever breathe. Allow your loneliness time to dissolve the shell of dross that had closed around you. Choose in this severe silence to hear the one true voice your rushed life fears. Cradle yourself like a child, learning to trust what emerges, so that gradually you may come to know that deep in that black hole, you will find the blue flower that holds the mystical light, which will illuminate in you the glimmer of springtime.
Thank you. So today we are continuing our theme of building belonging during this month. Now, as we think about the action of what it means to create and build belonging, I don't think we can but help to think about loneliness in a world such as ours. Now, for those of you who've been hearing me preach for a while, you'll know I periodically reference the loneliness epidemic in our society. In 2023, the then Surgeon General's office published a comprehensive study on loneliness and called it a significant public health threat, not just to individuals, but to our society as a whole. Now, despite what you might see on social media or what I might call cheap journalism, there actually are no substantive gender differences in who feels lonely. Now, I'm sure if I ask you, oh, what's the loneliest group in our country? Just yesterday, I saw yet one more report about, this epidemic of young men who are lonely. The research does not bear up that stands out. The research shows that there is no difference when it comes to gender or to political beliefs about who is feeling lonely. One thing interesting about the research, though, is that age does make a difference. The loneliness age group is between the ages of 30 and 44, with 1/3 of the people in this range experiencing substantive or ongoing loneliness. Research indicates that factors such as social media and uncertainty about the future during such a critical period of someone's life are big contributing factors. And I speak with enough people in that age range to know that it absolutely is a time of great uncertainty, a time of feeling lonely. Now, 1/4 of 18 to 29-year-olds experience pervasive loneliness, while 1/5 of 45 to 64-year-olds do. Now, for anyone over 65, people over 65 don't often get a lot of good news, right? But only 10% of people in that age range experience pervasive loneliness. And I would also say that 10%, that's a pretty high number too. Now, I'm not going to stand here and keep regaling you with all the stats about loneliness from this extensive research that was done. But let's turn instead to how we can build belonging in the midst of loneliness. Now, I want to make one thing very clear. being alone is not the same thing as being lonely. Being alone is not the same thing as being lonely. All of us need some alone time periodically, and some of us more than others. Author Kim Culberson wrote, "People think being alone makes you lonely, but I don't think that's true. Being surrounded by the wrong people is the loneliest thing in the world. Being surrounded by the wrong people is the loneliest thing in the world." It's not just about being around people. It's about being around people with whom we belong. Now, I'm sure most, if not all of us, have been in situations or circumstances where we felt like we just didn't belong for one reason or another. And that may have engendered loneliness in us. I received a text a few weeks ago. Didn't even know who it was from, but you can always find out what numbers belong to people in today's world. Saying, "Hey, Amy, it's been a long time. Are you coming to the 40th high school reunion?" So that should give you an indication. I have not kept up with one soul from my high school, okay? And the text was just like, "Oh, we talked a few weeks ago or a couple months ago." I figured it out and sent a nice response back of, "No, I did not plan to go." So now I easily remember my years of high school, these 4 years, having a lot of loneliness during that time. I was just outside Asheville. It was very much, back in the 80s, a rural area, tended to be filled with more conservative or kind of traditional students. My mom was one of the few moms I knew who was a professional as a nursing home administrator. And I was a smart, independent girl. I just didn't belong. As I was actively looking to what college I could escape to and go away to, and I had classmates who were accusing me of just looking for an MRS degree. I don't know if any of y'all ever hear that, right? So you can imagine how I felt during those 4 years. The one big salvation for me during that time, I had a wonderful teacher. I had some great teachers who introduced me to an opportunity to go to a camp at Mars Hill College, now university, for 3 weeks one summer. And I ended up going back for 3 summers. And it was gifted and talented camp. That's kind of what they called us back then, right? And I was there with other GT kids from across the state. I belonged there. So many of us in that community, that was one place we knew that we truly belonged, and we didn't just feel like outcast nerds. Back to my children's godmother, I met her there at, we call it nerd camp because no one knows what GT camp is these days, right? What a gift for me to find a community as a teenager that I felt like I belonged. Now, I think one of the challenges that people have in building belonging in the midst of loneliness is that we don't always differentiate in the different types of belonging we need in our lives. Now, various people have written about the circles of belonging in the world and in our lives, and they use a variety of names, and I've decided to go with these 4 descriptors that I liked. So, the first circle of belonging is the collective. Then we have the kindred, the team, and the inner circle. Now, the collective is the largest circle we have. I think of Mr. Rogers singing about, these are the people in your neighborhood, right? The people that you meet each day. It might be our neighbors, our coworkers, people who work at or frequent our favorite coffee shop or restaurant or grocery stores, people that we see on a regular basis, and some much more than others. That larger collective of which we are a part. The kindred. The kindred is our next circle of belonging. It's a community we choose. We actively choose because of what connects us. Now, we might be connected through volunteer or advocacy work or social activism. The kindred circle of belonging includes our religious or spiritual community, like this church. We are present here in the circle of belonging because of our shared values, and we support each other's unique individual spiritual journey. So we have the collective, the kindred, and then the team. The team is our next circle of belonging, and these are people who bring joy in our life. They celebrate the good things with us. They're the ones that we ask for to help out when we need a ride somewhere. Or, boy, I had a lot of team members when my kids were little back in Asheville. Hey, can you pick up my kid from school? Because I can't today. Something's happened. Usually it's because my older child was at the ER for something else he'd done, right? Jumping off a roof. And then can someone pick up Ava, right? These are team. These are the people who bring us food when we're ill, or perhaps when we've had a new baby, or when we're grieving a loss. Our team, they're there to help celebrate with us, help us get through life with all the basic ways we need to. And then lastly, the inner circle. Now, the inner circle, these are our soul friends. The people who understand us, deeply understand us, and they stand with us through thick and thin. Even if they disagree with us about something, or they're disappointed in us about something, this is someone who's always going to have our back. The bond is not just because of circumstance or proximity. It's truly the deepest kind of connection. In that inner circle, we may just have a couple of those throughout our lives. It might change. Might have someone for the first part of our lives and then someone different the next time. So we have these various communities to which we belong: the collective, the kindred, the team, and the inner circle. Now, in the midst of loneliness, connecting with any of these circles is a helpful way to build belonging. And we also know there are times that we are not able to connect for a variety of reasons. And I want us to remember on this day where we are observing SUN, S-U-N, Day with Green Faith, the Green Faith Organization, and with faith communities across the country, we can always go sit in nature or look through a window, find some way to be connected with nature, and know that we belong. Such an important community for us. And there's times I felt lonely, and I've seen a pretty flower, had a bird flittering around on my deck, or looked up at the moon at night, and I knew I wasn't alone. Now, I want to spend just a couple more minutes focusing on the kindred circle of belonging, because that is what we are here at Piedmont UU Church. This circle of belonging, the kindred circle, is the place that helps us deal with the existential challenges that we have in this world and existential crises, especially when our society is in crisis. We need our kindred circle now more than ever. What is the meaning of our existence? What's the purpose of our life? How do we embody our beliefs, live out our values, continue along our faith journey, to do so with others, especially when the world is in crisis. Now, sometime in the last few days, I saw a video clip of Stephen Colbert. I think many of you know who he is, a gifted comedian, South Carolinian, right? A man who is a person of deep faith. And he is interviewing the British actor Gary Oldham. And this clip I saw, he's asking Gary, he said, I want you to state in a 5-word sentence what the remainder of your life is going to be. And Gary, he struggled. And he is struggling. I guess he's used to learning lines. I don't know. But he sat there and he's like, I. And then he was struggling. It's not easy for us to think about that. And as I was watching this clip, I was like, what's a 5-word sentence I want the rest of my life to be? And these words came to me, I want to bring joy. I do spend more time thinking about that because clergy, we think about the meaning of our lives, the meaning of our ministries, what we are called to do. So I think most clergy have had some time to think about it, maybe not in a 5-word sentence. Or in 5 minutes. I know, it's not easy. So that statement for me, it is grounded in my values. Values which have been formed through kindred community. Throughout my life, my kindred community of faith as a child growing up in the wonderful little church in the mountains that always loved me, even when they didn't understand me at all, right? They loved me. And I still hear from some of these older people who were such great supports for me. And during these ongoing difficult days, my siblings in faith, my siblings in values, help me decide how I choose to go about my day-to-day life in a world that is filled with moral injury and evil. Evil wants us to feel lonely and isolated. But our kindred circle, that's the opposite. The fact is, when we build belonging with our kindred circle, we are never truly alone. We are all on this journey together. Now, final thoughts for today. I want every person here to know that loneliness is not always a bad thing or something we should try to avoid at all costs. Okay? It's just a feeling. Feelings are not bad. If we are experiencing loneliness, and we all will from time to time, even when we are in the midst of a circle of belonging and we're experiencing loneliness, that's okay. That's part of being human. We shouldn't feel ashamed or discouraged or frustrated with ourselves. It's part of the journey. It's part of life. Professor, medical doctor, and author Rachel Naomi Remen shares these words. It's our very wounds that enable us to make a difference. For example, without my suffering, I wouldn't understand the suffering of others or be able to connect to them. My loneliness enables me to recognize the loneliness in other people, even when it's covered over. To find them when they have become lost in the dark, and then to sit with them. And to know that just by sitting with them, eventually they will find what they need in order to move forward. The lonely times help shape us into being people of empathy and compassion. People who will live out our values so that we care for our creation and for every creature on this planet. Today, let us give thanks for the times of loneliness and how they help shape us for the better. And let us give thanks for our circles of belonging, and especially for our kindred. May it be so, blessed be. Amen.
Let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place, which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and of hope, for we are now keepers of the dream. This month, we are sharing our offering plate with Planned Parenthood South Atlantic. Planned Parenthood South Atlantic is a leader in reproductive health care, rights, and education in North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and West Virginia. They believe all people deserve access to high-quality, affordable health care and are dedicated to providing education and information so people can make their own health decisions. Our hosts will pass around the basket, and we ask that you pass the baskets down your row when you receive them. You may place your gift in the baskets as they make their way around the room. And you're always welcome to give online at puuc.org, that's puuc.org, or by texting PUUC at the number 73256. Today's offering will now gratefully be received.
We give thanks for these generous gifts from your heart, generous gifts which enable us to continue to be a beloved community. I invite you now to please rise and body your spirit for our closing hymns found in your gray hymnal, number 121, Well Build a Land.
Free.
before we extinguish our chalice, I offer thanks for all the many volunteers who help make our service possible each Sunday. I also ask if you will take your hymnal after the service and place it on the cart near the piano. That's always a big help. Now let us do as we do each Sunday and pause and take a moment to give thanks, either in our hearts or with words for others to hear, for the things for which we are grateful today.
Grateful for the changing seasons. Welcome fall.
Yes, grateful for the changing seasons. Welcome fall. Yes. For Dayquil. Yes. We're grateful for you being here too, Rhiannon.
I'm grateful for modern medicine
Modern medicine.
and for the healing power of love.
Healing power of love. Absolutely.
Kindred community.
Kindred community.
I'm grateful for a wonderful pianist that we have.
Yes. Grateful for our fantastic pianist, for all you viewing on live stream. Yes, always so grateful for Ann.
Grateful for our visitors.
Grateful for our visitors. We are grateful for all these things and so much more we hold in our hearts this morning. Let us now go forth, knowing we always have a place we belong. We now extinguish our chalice, but we carry its light, its warmth, and its meaning with us until we meet again. May we go in peace, believe in peace, create peace wherever we may wander. May it be so. Now for our closing hymn, we form a circle. You may hold hands if you would like to, or you may simply place your hands on your heart.